Yo, what is up, everybody? Let me make sure I am live so you guys can see me. If you guys can hear me, I know we're going to wait a couple of minutes for everybody to hop on. For those of you guys watching the replay, guys, today what we're going to be going over is how to make $200 in profit a day flipping high demand electronics. I'm going to be going over a couple of these electronics today for you guys, kind of show you guys what's out there, what you can flip, what you can make money on, and overall how you can actually create a buyback business out of this. It's a big deal, right? All right, cool. We are good to go. Let me make sure that I'm live so I can see everybody's comments. All right, cool. We are good to go. Cool. All right, everybody. So today we're going to be talking, like I said, about how to make $200 a day flipping high demand electronics. I will be going over a couple different electronics today. I did recently create a 10 product type thing that I will be selling later on as part of my ebook thing. It's not up for sale yet, but I do want to kind of show you guys what that's going to look like, and I'm going to use it in today's live stream to kind of give you guys a really, really good detailed breakdown on all of the items that we are currently buying right now that are making us money. Okay, so let me get this thing ready. All right, if everybody can hear me, please type live in the comments below so that I can make sure that I can see your guys' comments. Last time, I wasn't able to see anybody's comments, and it sucked because I missed a whole lot of questions, and I don't want to do that again. So if you guys can hear me loud and clear, I know there's about a 10-second delay, but just type live in the comments below, please, so that I can make sure I can see your comments. And if nobody comments, I'm going to assume that this thing is broken again. Oh, hey, what's up, Raymond? Okay, cool. I can see people's stuff. Cool. All right, guys. So today we're going to be going over kind of three different topics specifically. So in the announcement post, I was talking about we're going to be going over how to make $200 a day working part-time hours flipping VR sets, game consoles, and phones, right? I'm also going to be going over how to do scheduled meetups around your work schedule and make more while working less, okay? And then also how to convince your customers to come to you to sell you their devices so you save like hours of your time, okay? Because nobody wants to be running around town all day long doing that, because I know I don't. All right, cool. Thanks, Reggie. Thanks, Raymond. Awesome, guys. Okay, cool. Let's jump into this thing, guys. I do want to start this thing off with wins. Is there anybody who has had some major wins this week? If you've had some wins, please type them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. But I do want to show you guys some of my client wins here recently, because we have absolutely been crushing it, not only with phones. So we actually haven't been doing a whole lot of phones here lately. So here we go. Let me pull this up. All right. So got a couple of different wins here with everybody. You guys can see here, this is an Oculus controller that sold $89.99. Sold via promoted listing. Then we got a phone here. This guy is brand new to this, by the way. Nestor, he's only been in the program about a week, and he's absolutely killing it. Robert, he's RGC Electronics. He is also very new, never bought an Oculus before. He only bought MacBooks, funny enough. Because, I don't know, he was just more comfortable with them. But this week he bought an Oculus Quest 2 for $180. Oculus Quest 2 256 gigabyte for $180, and then a MacBook Pro late 2011 for $20. It's wild, right? And this is all from paid ads. It's pretty sick, right? And then we got Nestor again. He's like, "Are y'all even trying?" You got the Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch for $150. The console sells for roughly about $200. So that's easy money right there. And then an iPhone 11 S21 unlocked as well. Got another Oculus here. Got some more wins here. Just wins over wins. Another M1 MacBook, Nintendo Switch. So there's a whole lot of wins here for, Oculuses. And just being real with you guys, we're probably picking up more Oculuses than we are phones right now. This is one I actually picked up the other day. I actually have that in here somewhere. Can't remember where I put it. Oh, wait, it's out on my table because I was listing it. But yeah, this is one that I bought the other day. It came with a carrying case and everything. Bought it for $175. It'll sell roughly all together for about $350. So, well, a little less than that, but not bad. So you guys get the idea. So who else has some wins in the comments? I'd love to hear you guys' wins. And if not, I'm going to jump into the top 10 electronics that we're currently buying that you guys will basically just kind of siphon off and, kind of do your own thing with, right? That's why I'm here, to help you guys and obviously to earn your business in the future if you ever want to join the Recelerator program. So let's hop into it. Got some comments. Okay, cool. All right, so let me share this real quick. So we're going to go into the top 10 electronics that I recommend reselling right now. And you guys are the first people to ever see this. My head coach hasn't even seen this. So you guys are getting access to the good stuff right now. So this is something I'm putting together. It's not even professionally done yet, but it will be. So as you guys can see, the top 10 electronics to resell in 2023. I can start off here with iPhones. Obviously, over 50% of the United States owns an iPhone, right? Top models to buy. We're usually buying iPhone 8 and newer right now. As you guys can see, this was a 13 Pro that I sold for $700 recently. Then we got how to buy them. So I kind of go over in this model. By the way, I'm not going to be dropping this in the comments, just so you guys know. I'll just be going over it on the live stream here. So our top models to buy iPhone 8 and newer, how we buy them. The number one way that we buy iPhones is from ads. So as you guys can see here, this photo is an example of that. MacBooks. We've been doing pretty good with MacBooks lately. So they're good to buy on a regular basis simply because of how well they hold their value. They far surpass HP, Asus, and even a lot of gaming laptops too. But if you look online, you can actually see a 2012 MacBook still selling for $80 to $100 today. It's kind of wild, actually. You guys can see this one. This one was a little bit older one, but it still sold for $145. And then to buy these, we actually use MacBook ads, very similar to iPhone ads. And what I like to do is target iPhone users or the general population. Both work. So I actually just started some ads for MacBooks today in Canada, actually, for a student. So, and then number 3, the Oculus Quest. So Oculus Quest, like I told you guys, we've been buying these a lot. We've been doing very well with them, and we've been just making all of our money. Like a lot of, just because the profit margin on these is solid. So as you can see here, this is the Oculus Quest 2. This one was 256 gigs. So it sold for $200 by itself. Okay. I bought this whole thing for $250. The whole thing for $250. So the headset alone sold for $200. And the since these were it wasn't new. It was relatively used, but the controllers sold for about $100 a piece. So 200 plus 100 plus 100. There you go. 400. There you go. Kind of adds it up for you. Top models to buy here recently: Oculus Go, Rift S, Quest 2, and recently the Quest Pro. And then the best way to buy them, Oculus headsets, is we've mostly been actually DMing people on Marketplace for this. By the way, if you guys stay till the end of this video, I'll have 2 people drop their zip codes, and I'll source their area for them based on how my head coach taught me how to do it. The head coach, Matt, in my program, anyway. Then we have VR gaming systems. So these are a little bit separate from Oculus Quests, but these do fall under the umbrella of VR systems. As you guys can see here, this was one that I sold very recently. As you can see, get it between April 1st and April 3rd. This right here is called the Valve Index. This is like top of the line VR systems. You don't get many of them, but when you do, you make some solid money. I bought the whole set for $610. The headset alone sold for $420. That's wild. Okay. The controllers sold for about $120 a piece. And then all the other stuff, there was extra stuff that sold, like base stations and different things like that sold for another $100 a piece. So at the end of everything, it all sold for about $1,040. and I made a total of $336 in profit off this system alone. Okay. The cool thing about these guys that I want to point out is you aren't likely to get any scams whatsoever, simply because like there's a lot of scams that go on with phones, right? That nobody ever likes to talk about, but there is, right? I've had it. I had other people in my program that have had issues. So, but with the VR systems, we haven't really noticed that, and even with the gaming consoles, it's not really a whole lot of scams, which is cool. How we buy them, pretty much, the same thing. We reach out on Marketplace, Craigslist, etc. Nintendo Switch. We've absolutely been crushing it with Nintendo Switch. These have been also really fun to resell because sometimes they come with some games. I recently bought one with Pokemon Arceus, and I've actually been playing the game, and I'll easily be able to resell that game for $35 alone. But we've been buying these a lot here recently. This one sold for $225, and this was just the console itself as well. Just the console. Okay, top models to buy: Switch Lite V1 OLED. Right? How to buy them? We've mostly been buying them from Marketplace for people who part them out. However, we recently did add in some ads for Nintendo Switches into Resell Deck, so that was pretty cool. And people can actually launch their ads directly from Resell Deck now. And for these console ads, Nintendo Switch ads, you name it. But Nintendo Switch ads have been actually working very well. iPads. iPads are great. I've been reselling a lot of iPads over the years. And the cool thing about these is a lot of the times they come with an upsell with iPhones. Like if you ask for an iPhone, or if somebody hits you up with an iPhone, and then you ask like, hey, what else do you have? And they're like, well, I got an iPad. You can see this one was cracked all to hell, right? But I bought it for 110 and it sold for 240 the same day. It's pretty cool. And it sold in like a couple seconds. I was like, damn it. And I didn't list it high enough, So I probably lost a little money on that. But hey, I still profited. Top models to buy recently have been iPad Pro, Mini, and regular, usually 2018 and newer. How to buy them? Like I said, we do run ads for these, but most of the time they just come from our iPad or iPhone ads. So PlayStations. So everybody likes a good PlayStation. This one was one that I recently got. This was the PS4 Pro 1 terabyte. This was the Last of Us Part 2 limited edition. I bought this one for $180 and it sold for $400. It was wild. It was awesome though. Couple models that you want to buy, as you guys can see here. So we got a couple here. There are some PS3s here as well. We got the PS3 backwards compatible model. If you don't know what that is, Google it. The PS3 custom made versions. So a while back, I actually went to a pawn shop and I saw a red PlayStation 3, right? And I was like, what is that? So I looked it up on eBay. I was like, red PlayStation 3. Ended up being the God of War edition PS3. And it sold for $150. The PS3. Believe it or not, guys. Wild. And then you got the regular PS4 Pro or PS4 Slim, 500 gigabyte or 1 terabyte, PS4 Pro, and then the PS4 custom versions, which you can see above. This one was a custom edition. Okay. So look out for these custom editions. These are awesome. And then obviously the PS5. PS5 has gone down in value, so we are able to resell it a little bit better at this point, rather than where it was, right? How to buy them? We usually buy these used, damaged, and even completely broken. I got like 4 broken PlayStations behind me. But we acquire them in a variety of different ways. The free way is simply just by sourcing on Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, and other places like that, and just DMing people, right? But you can also run Facebook and Google ads for these. I get about 1 PS4 lead per day from Google. So that's something new that I've been testing, but it's been working out pretty well. And then these are what the ads look like for that. Very simple, very easy, right? The next one here, guys, is smartwatches. So most people who own iPhones also own smartwatches. So we get a lot of these from people who just own iPhones. And we get it from people asking the question, like, or us asking the question, like, hey, do you have anything else you're looking to sell? Oh, well, I got an Apple Watch, right? So top models to buy on these guys are these right here, series 5, 6, 7, and 8, all sizes. And then obviously any newer watches that come in the market. How to buy them. We mostly buy them used, very rarely, sometimes damaged. Unfortunately, when they get damaged, they are not worth like anything. But hey, doesn't hurt to ask, right? Samsungs. So Samsungs are a little bit further down on the list. They aren't the top thing to resell, but there is still a lot of money to be made in them. I do buy quite a few Samsungs. Top models on Samsungs to buy: the S series, Note, Z Fold, and then Z Flip. All of these have sold really well for me. And I do buy them used, cracked, damaged, and even sometimes with no power. So they sell well on eBay. Samsungs don't really sell well anywhere else, just so you guys know. And then the last one here, guys. This is number 10, cameras. So cameras are like an open market right now for reselling, very similar to the Oculus Quest and gaming consoles too. But there's like nobody out there buying and reselling cameras. I got one guy in my program. All he does is resell cameras. That's it. He runs ads and he reaches out on Marketplace, and all he does is cameras. And he crushes it. So it's awesome. Top models to buy: Fujifilm, Nikon, and Canon. So, and then you can mostly source these from local marketplaces, such as, Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist. And you can also run ads for them specifically. The cost on camera ads is actually relatively cheap, usually $1 to $3. So they've been pretty solid. So cameras are good, but you do need to kind of rack up a good amount of knowledge on the cameras. Typically, the way we buy cameras is we base everything on the body of the camera itself. That's what we base the offer off of. And then usually what we try to do is sell the lens and the body of the camera separately. So that way we just make more profit out of them, right? So was that helpful? These are the top 10 electronics that I'm recommending right now to resell or to buy and things. Let me know in the comments, was that helpful? Let me know if you guys like that. And yeah, those are the top 10 electronics that we're reselling right now. So what's up, Nick? Let's see who else is on here. Michael, Barry, Junior, Abraham, David. Really awesome. Good stuff. A lot of people. Cool. So yeah, that is mostly what we've been reselling. I'll go through that list one more time for everybody that just popped in and to give everybody a quick flash on that. Like I said, this document isn't exactly ready yet. iPhones were number 1, Kevin. Just so you know, brother. Might have came in a little late. So top 10 iPhones, MacBooks, Oculus Quest, VR gaming systems, Nintendo Switch, iPads, PlayStations, smartwatches, Samsungs, and then cameras. So, but to answer your question on that, Kevin, just being real, we have actually been doing better on the gaming, like on the VR headsets. Like the VR headsets have been a much better profit margin, and they've been a lot more consistent than iPhones lately. So they're a little bit more work, but not really. They ship out pretty easily. But iPhones are still number 1 based on volume. Profit-wise, not so much. Okay, but there's a lot of money in all of these things. Where you guys can, you can crush it. But and the cool thing, guys, is we're actually moving to kind of a place where, like, if people want to specifically resell a certain thing, you can now do that. Like, that is something that we actually teach in our program. Like I got one student who flips only cameras. That's all he flips. He does like $2,000 a month in profit. Just like chill, Oculus Quests, a lot of my students get those with no ad spend at all. Some of those are the only, like, some students, the only thing they flip is Oculus Quest, Nintendo Switch, and things like that. That's all they flip. My head coach doesn't even buy phones. So you mentioned scams involving phones. Any predominant scam? I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, one of my students got scammed on Samsung today. because he didn't open the box. So, and it was a fake phone. That's one of the predominant scams that happens. And unfortunately, that, you just got to know, what you're doing. And the cool thing about like flipping these types of items, guys, is they can't be reported stolen. Like, who's going to report this stolen? You know, there's a serial number, but there's like no IMEI or anything like that. There's none of that. Like, even when the Nintendo Switches, PS4s, PS5s, like the rarity of actually getting scammed on those things is really low. Like, it's not something that happens often. So, all right. So moving on into the next part of all of this. Let me open it up here. So the scheduled meetup model. So I do want to go over this really quickly, because I do this on like reaching out. I do this on reaching out and then ads as well. I started it with ads, but I also do not reach outs. So the scheduled meetup model, essentially what it is when we close a deal, is getting people to come to us. Most resellers go to people, right? They think that's the best thing to do. But how many of you guys, drop something in the chat? Drop a one in the chat if you've been ghosted when you went to somebody. Drop a one in the chat if you've ever been ghosted when you drove to somebody. Everybody who flips will probably be dropping a one. Yeah, Eric says one. Yeah, everybody who ever flips something, get ghosted pretty often when you drive to somebody, right? So when that started happening to me, my wife was actually the one who was like, why can't you just like have people meet you at one place twice a day? Why can't you do that? And I came up with all of the excuses in the world for that. I was like, well, it's better for the customer. It's blah, 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 right? Like and then one day I got stood up one last time and I was pissed. I was mad. I was like, from now on, everybody's coming to me. And it dawned on me that day. I was like, why am I even going to people? I'm the person with the money. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Pawn shops don't go to people. Loan agencies don't go to people. They just don't, right? Why should I drive to people? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I have the thing that they need. I don't need their Oculus Quest. I don't need it, right? But they need my money. So epiphany, duh, think it's simple, right? But, obviously we want to, have the best customer service and things like that. But I'm going to tell you guys why it's better for people to come to you. Okay. So my meetups are usually 12 and 5 every day, usually, right? Not today because I had this meeting, but tomorrow they will be 12 and 5. And essentially what I do there is I'm just like, hey, I'll be meeting people at 12 and 5. This is after I close the deal, obviously. Be like, hey, I'm meeting people at 12 and 5 today at the Starbucks on Main Street. Here's the address. Which time can you make it? And that's what I say. And then they pick a time or they tell me they can't make it. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. Well, I go to the gym later on tonight. Just meet me there. So you can't have outliers. But I have built my thing around them coming to me. Like, I go to the gym at night, right? So like usually 8, 9 after I put my kids down. And like, if they really need to sell something, cool, bro. Just meet me at the gym. Guys, I can't tell you how many hundreds of dollars I made at the gym. Like, get my swole on while I'm, racking. So they shouldn't come to you, or you shouldn't go to them. That's not how it should be. You have the money. They should come to you, right? You have what they need. So, and also the great thing about this is you can make a whole lot more money in less time. So there's something that I call lineups whenever you're meeting people at a very specific location. So like I said, I meet people at 12 and 5, right? And a lot of the times what will happen is people will, all show up at the same time. So essentially what I'll do is be like, hey, I'll be with you in a minute. Let me just finish up here with this guy and I'll be with you. And they're usually like, okay, cool, no problem. Also, it's huge social proof for them as well. They're like, oh, wow, this guy knows his shit, and, and then you buy 3 things all at once, or if they have multiple items, even more than that. That's how you make $100 to $200 every time you go to Starbucks or a coffee shop or a grocery store, whatever, wherever you meet people. That's how you do it. So one of my students, Kayla, I did an interview with her a while back, and she's in Canada, and she was running around town all day long doing the same thing that flippers always do, right? She was also only doing reach outs, but she was crushing it. So more power to her, right? But we implemented this scheduled meetup model into her business. And I told her, I was like, pick 2 times a day, say this. And a couple days later, she was like, Chris, this absolutely transformed my business. Transformed it. I wish I had the thing because it was awesome. It's actually on one of my pages, but I'll have to bring it up later one day. But it completely transformed her entire business in just less than a month because she, like I said, she was running around town all day long. She didn't have time to do anything. She had basically created her own job, which sucks. Nobody wants that, right? So the scheduled meetup model is where it's at. There's one last thing I wanted to go over. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah. So how to convince customers to come to you to sell their devices so you save hours of time. So how do you convince people, right? Well, you don't. You don't convince anybody of anything, right? So you just tell them. You don't have to convince. You just tell them from a place of authority. If you say something very similar to this, and you say, I meet people at 12 and 5 at this location, which time works best for you? You're not asking permission to buy their stuff. You're not doing any of that, right? Like you're just telling them what to do. Whenever we go into a restaurant, what happens, right? The person at the front is like, hey, blah blah blah, right? They talk to you a little bit, and then what do? They grab some menus and they're like, follow me, right? And you just follow them to the table, right? They got a system. It's the same thing here. They sit you at your table. That's exactly what we're doing just through text or phone call, right? They're like, hey, this is where I meet. If you want your money, come get it. That's exactly what it is. So, and I'm not being rude, I'm just being real. Pawn shops don't get up out of there and go to people, right? So you're not convincing anybody. You're just telling them where they can come get their money. So, all right. So I'm going to answer a couple of these questions real quick. Landon says, drop that knowledge. You're saving people time and money and anger. Yeah. Do you have a step-by-step video course on reselling electronics for profit we can invest in? Yeah, dude, I got my Recelerator program. It's a little expensive, but we basically show you how to start an entire buyback company in less than a week. And we do all the ads for you. So it's lit. Build your website, phone number. I'll get to that at the end, though. Cool. All right, guys. So I did promise to source 2 people's area. So first 2 people to drop their zip codes, I'll send you guys some deals. Ready, set, go. Okay, we got 2 zip codes. Beautiful. They came in through my thing here, not through Facebook, though. That sucks. All right, 33772. Cool. I'm only doing 2. If you guys want more, we'll talk about it at the end. Let me share my screen. Let me go to Facebook. And I'll just show you guys how we do this really quick, or how my console coach does. He does it 10 times better than me. He usually finds people like 10 to 15 deals on orientation with him. It's pretty solid. I'm not that good, but I know enough. Let's see here. Okay, let's go to Marketplace. And who was the first one? 33772. Okay. So let's go to there. 33772. Is that right? 33772. I don't know if that's right. Is that right? I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm not sure if that's correct. 77086. What the heck is that? Sounds close to mine. 77086. Yeah, that is close to me. Okay, Let's look. Let's see. All right. Whoa. Hello, Oculus Go. Yeah. So this right here is actually a potential deal. This is a PS4 VR system. He doesn't. So one thing I want you guys to notice here is barely uses it. PS4 VR. I can't remember exactly what this is selling for. So let me actually go to eBay. Let's take a look here real quick. PSVR. Yes, VR headset only. See what the headset's selling for. Let me reshare here for you guys. What's up, Jaime? All right. Jaime is one of my students. Just came from this call with my head coach. Probably found some deals too. Sold. Let's see. All right, yeah, this isn't exactly as high as I expected it to be. It's totally cool. So let's move on. Let me actually just go straight. We're just going to go to Oculus. Might have already sourced some stuff in your area, Landon, since we're kind of close. So this one right here isn't too bad, actually. So this one right here is 128 gigs, and notice the what he's saying here. Brand new Oculus Quest 2, 128 gigabyte, never used. Okay. Price negotiable, need gone ASAP. Let me know, come get it. So I don't know if this is close to you, but I'd come and get that. Oh yeah, it is brand new. It still has a sticker on it. Nice. So if you can get them at 200, you'll yeah, I remember we hit up for lunch, Landon. Remember that? Yeah, dude, I'm gonna send this one over to you. Well, I'll just drop it in the stream, I guess. Oh, I can't post to Facebook groups on this thing. All right, let me go to the actual chat. So if you can get that guy down to 200, which it looks like you can if you pay in cash like today, you can probably make a pretty solid profit because the headset alone will sell for about like 150 to 160, 175 if it is truly new. So I'm gonna drop that here in the thing for you, dude. Um, all right, there you go. Let me turn this off. Okay, cool. So next one, we had one more. We'll just do one more. 55407. Do that one. We're gonna do another Oculus Quest because those are easy money. What the heck was it? 55407. Oh, it's Mexico. Well, not gonna lie, I don't know how to read pesos. However, there's a lot of Oculuses in the area, so if you can get them down to how much is 6,000 pesos? Let me see. Let me take a look here. 6,000 MX to USD. Okay, 335 USD. This one's 5,000. I mean, you got a lot in your area. So honestly, I would just go in here and start DMing people because there's a lot for sale, like more than usual, in your area. So I just start DMing people, brother. This is actually really good. There's a lot in your area, like more than usual. So what that means, just so you guys know, when there's a lot in the air, this could be a different location though. Oh yeah, it says it right here. No results for this one in 9 kilometers. Okay, do another area. We'll do one more. 07728. Zero 7728. Yeah, this one's at 250. That's an easy one to work down usually, especially since they posted it 6 weeks ago. Bristol Listed a day ago. Already dropped the price by 50. Doesn't say how many gigabytes though. So that's one thing I would definitely ask. 150. Is this just a headset? Well, this is a deal right there. There you go. If you can get this one for not shipping, then be able to pick that one up. 280, 275, 230. Oh, this one's got a carrying case. Don't use it anymore. Works perfectly. 64 gig. I'd probably try and get them down to like 150, which isn't too far, especially since it's 64 gigs. And you guys would be surprised how many people take those offers, because the thing with these guys is like everybody is selling them, and there's not a whole lot of people buying them except when they're online. Okay, so this one's only at 200. Yeah, I mean, this is another one right here. So you guys got some. Oh, here's another one. This one's an easy one. 185. It's got a freaking stand. Is it just a headset? Yeah, no, it's the headset and the thing. So pick this one up for 160-ish. Easy money right there. Yeah. So that's how you guys do it. That's kind of how that works. How much would you resell that Oculus Quest for? So the headset, usually depending on the gigabyte size, 64 usually sells for like 110, 128 like 120, and then the 256 can actually go, well, I guess the 128, I sold one for 160 the other day. So they're going up a little. Headset on 64, I guess about 140. Actually, let me see. Which phone carriers are you selling as bad ESN? Pretty much all that are locked, bro. Let me actually pull something up here real quick for you guys. Like I said, I'm not the expert on the game console stuff. Like, I do buy them, but I got an expert in my program for that. Like, that's what he does. Let me find my Slack group real quick. What happened on my Slack group? That's fine. Not a big deal. But my console coach actually has all of the prices laid out, like on what stuff is selling for it. Kind of like phone buyers price sheets actually. That's how he has everything laid out, like what everything is selling for, like during the week. It's pretty cool. Makes it a whole lot easier to appraise things. Which you guys know me, I like things easy. So, all right. I'll open up some Q&A, and then I gotta go pick up my kids from daycare. Who's got questions? Feel free to drop some questions below. I believe I already answered this one. Which phone carriers do you sell as bad ESN? Pretty much all that are locked, bro. AT&T locked, like T-Mobile, all of them. I sell pretty much everything as bad ESN unless it's unlocked. The reason I do that is because I don't want to get like a return on it, just in case, I guess. So you piece out the Oculus. Yeah, you sell the headset and the controllers and everything separately. That's how we've been doing it. It basically just creates more profit overall. Let's see here. Phil, what's up, Phil? Good to see you, man. How much has the landscape changed over the last 3 years for those good? Well, free ads are pretty much dead. So let's just knock that one back in. We mostly do paid ads, Facebook ads, reach ads, and reach out method, and Google ads. So all reach outs for consoles, or are you posting ads as well? So RJ, we do both. So we do both. We do the ones for consoles, and then we do for consoles we do ads and reach outs, and then for phones almost all ads. Google ads have been really good for phones as far as like people ready to sell. We've been doing really well with those. And then Facebook ads, obviously, because they're interruption ads, right? Beginner question: how do you know if a phone is unlocked? So you got IMEI checkers that you can actually usually check to see if an iPhone is unlocked. One is SICW. I think you actually need to get a referral link for that now. But another way is imeicheck.com. That's another one. So, can you add the link to your course, please? Interested? Yep, I will. Yep, here at the end. What profit margin are you going for on iPhones? So usually on iPhones, I aim for 30 to 40%. Usually end up around 30 if it's a newer device. 20% is like the lowest for me. So wait, if I get that Oculus for 200, then I can possibly sell a headset for 160, and then how much for the controllers? So sell the headset for like 160, and then the controllers sell for about 80, 85 to 100 a piece. The right controller usually sells for about 95. The left controller usually sells for about 90. So, do you teach Google Ads? Yeah, bro. Actually in the Recelerator program, I actually set up your Google Ads for you. It is a little bit of a beast. Like, it's a thing. You have to have a full website, business phone number, everything. Like, that's why we set all of it up for you. So it's a done for you buyback company, right? So I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about my program. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Since everybody's asking. So my Recelerator program, let me pull it up for you guys. I'll go over it really quick. Wow, there's questions coming in here that are not coming in on Facebook. That's interesting. Best place to source inventory? Humans. Just being real. Like if you got humans, there's inventory. All right, so let me share my screen. Talk a little bit about Recelerator. All right, so I'll drop this link at the end, guys. You guys can check it out later. Also, I will be dropping a call link at the end if you guys have any questions as well. So this is the Recelerator. You guys can watch this video. It goes over everything. A couple of things that are included with the Recelerator program. You'll get the Tech Flips to Profit ebook for free. 5 fast action bonuses. I'm over here on the right side for everybody. Done for you Facebook ad setup. We set up everything for you, the whole thing. Like you get ads running within 24 hours. Google Ads, orientation with me, game console orientation, and then also 45-day trial of Resell Deck. So Resell Deck is my fantastic software that kind of pulls everything into one place and just makes life easier for everybody. You're going to get my bullet negotiation script, iPhone and Samsung buying docs, MacBook buying doc, Oculus buying doc, camera buying doc, iPad, eBay description template, a digital and a physical bill of sale. This thing is off for some reason. KPI tracking sheet, 300 plus ads, which you won't really need because I already have it set up for you, but it is what it is. The eBay no wait call number, yes, we have that. IMEI and serial number training, offer making and appraisal calculator, Slack community. By the way, the Slack community I showed you guys earlier. Facebook group, and this is mostly just to hold replays. Weekly game console class. We do this weekly, just so you guys know, weekly. Like everything, like the sourcing thing I just showed you guys, we do that weekly for our students. Weekly ads and negotiation class. So I do want to explain this a little bit. The ads and negotiation. So the first part of that class, we do, we look over everybody's ads and kind of make sure everything's on track. And then the last part of that class, we've actually been doing a lot of mock negotiations. Like I'm pretending that I'm calling you and you have to answer the phone and things like that. We training, like it's sales training, essentially. Console family price sheet. This is what I was talking about earlier. A lot of value, easily like 19 grand worth of value. And then you guys can actually see a whole lot of the other stuff here. Kind of shows everything that, you guys can see all of my testimonials. This is how Jared did 10 grand in profit. By the way, he only about 30% of everything he sold was phones. So that's pretty wild. Ryan did 9 grand in profit in less than 90 days. Hunter did $8,700 in profit in one of his months. Kayla, I was talking about her earlier. She did, she changed up her business, as you can see here. 98% of the customers now come to her. right? You recommend something, and you guys can read that for yourself, though. Mark had never flipped an electronic in his life, and he's on track to do 32K this year on electronics alone. And then he also became a $10,000 a month superstar. So that was pretty cool. Sean here. Sean was terrified of paying for ads. Terrified of paying for ads. And as you guys can see here, he was skeptical, but then, now he's buying all kinds of stuff. So then you guys can read a little bit more into this and kind of figure out if this is for you, right? I am charging a pretty good amount for this. I'm not going to lie. I do charge about $3,000 for it, or it is $3,000, $3,000 for this. You guys can, let me drop this in the chat for everybody. Now, why is it so much? Like, why am I charging so much for this? Well, here's why. Number one, I'm setting up pretty much your entire business for you. The entire thing. Facebook ads, Google ads, website, business phone number, all of it. It's all set up. Okay. Now I don't run it for you because I actually want you to learn it. Right. And then on top of that, we coach you for 6 months. It's pretty wild. That's a lot of time. It's 180 days. So I'll drop this in the chat for everybody. Electronics. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them now. I got to jet out here in a bit. I think that was it. Okay, cool. They are blocking locked carrier 14 phones. Yeah, they sure are. It's actually not $29.97. It's actually a solid $3,000. So, but it is absolutely worth it. So, if you don't want that, get my ebook. It's $5. It shows you the whole, well, most of the system, I guess. None of the game console stuff, but you also get access to you'll also get access to our VR gaming course that's coming out, or VR course, and then also the game console course. We're actually separating those two because they are two different things. So I'm also going to drop my call link for anybody who has questions. Feel free to get on my calendar if you want to learn any more about it, or if you have any questions. There we go. Drop that for you guys. Yeah, it's not cheap, bro. We're setting up an entire buyback business for you. Whole thing. So, all right, guys. Well, I got to jet and go get my kiddos. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And see you guys later. Hope you guys got some value out of this. Later.